In short, it's about harmony between the nature and agriculture.
I think we're going to begin. So let's just talk a little bit about the family and the farm, and if you can share a little bit with the group about your family.
Good Earth Cotton is a modern regenerative farming practice that aims to empower farmers with two things, which is modern regenerative farming practices and primary data to produce environmentally friendly crops.
I'm not sure that everyone knows exactly what is Good Earth Cotton. We're actually going to get Six to just walk through the 7 sort of principles that actually make Good Earth Cotton.
Let me start with some little history. Everyone knows on Earth only 1% of the output is organic. And how could it help solve the issue? Then I started researching about regenerative cotton or farming practices. Then I got to know Good Earth Cotton. And I even went to Australia to visit the farm. I was impressed very much by a number of things. Number one, the size. It's over 500 square kilometers, which is like half of Hong Kong, entire Hong Kong. Second, they use very advanced technology. And then in terms of agricultural practices, the major thing which help the climate issue is they use low or even zero tillage. You know, when you do farming, tillage is a very important process in order to loosen the soil such that you could plant the seed more effectively. But that process actually releases carbon dioxide. But if you don't do that much, it actually saves and keep the carbon in the sink. And also they have very good planning on how the soil is sloped such that they use minimum water. And they use solar plant. And now they have a new project about hydrogen energy, right? The fact is, using hydrogen as an energy, they also have a byproduct, ammonia, which could be used as a fertilizer. Okay, so it's perfect. They apply biodiversity, crop rotation. These are the major things which help the whole farm sequester more carbon than it emits.
And I think that's the thing that is, I also had the opportunity to go to the farm. The actual cotton fields are at, I believe, a 6-degree angle, which was inspired by the tea fields. And so the irrigation is maximized because the fields are actually planted at a slight angle. And I think the other thing that I'm really struck by is in today's society, if you're making claims, you have to be able to prove your claims. And that has to be live data, real data. So the Good Earth Cotton has FibreTrace added into it, and there's obviously a pigment, and then there's a whole verification system. Do you want to just talk a little bit about what FibreTrace is and how, when it's applied to the Good Earth Cotton, are we able to prove origin and trace that through? So
yeah,
we can.
I mean, I can do that. FibreTrace is quite literally what the name is. It traces fibres through the supply chain. It does that in a unique way compared to the rest of the market. There's a lot of digital tracing and DNA tracing, but we use a unique method where we embed a rare earth pigment into the fibre at an infant stage. And with that pigment, that's been able to read using our scanners through spectrometry. And the pigments have a special signature to verify its authenticity at every point throughout the supply chain.
And it's you say a permanent pigment. Any other details?
Yeah, the permanent part is very important. So my first question asked the team was, would that disappear after I dye the fabric? So I tried to actually burn the fabric into ash. I still could read it. So any chemical process doesn't actually have impact on the pigment. So I think the platform itself is a very comprehensive one to show to the consumer or just the customer that this fabric or this garment carries the cotton which is from a farm in Australia.